I know, we've been talking about it, that the school year is fast approaching. I mean, we're just days away now. Starts next week for a lot of kids.
Yes.
And with the return of the school year comes the return of school buses and kids waiting out on the corner for that bus to pick them up. And so we just need to retrain our brains to be a little bit more aware. So to tell us more about some school bus safety for both drivers and the kids walking to the bus is School Resource Officer Robert Scisco joining us.
Good morning. How are we all doing?
Yeah, we're good. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me back. Always appreciate it.
Yes, and I mean, this is a good, relevant time of year for you to be back in here
absolutely.
and talking about that school safety. So when it comes to the drivers, because we've had a summer off from keeping our eyes peeled for yellow buses and little kids, what should we do? How should we kind of refresh our brains on looking out for the little guys?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's always remember, like, the big yellow buses, they're easy to see. So when you see that big yellow bus and the stop sign coming out from the side of that bus, slow down, obey the speed limits, stay off your phone. Yeah. Always try to tell people, if you're gonna leave the house, try to leave the house a little earlier. So the big thing is just really obey the laws, watch your speed, distractions in the car. Don't be trying to eat your breakfast in the car or try doing your makeup in the car. Pay attention and try to leave a little earlier than you normally would.
Yeah, I mean, I think for those of us who have been driving for a little while now, it's a little bit easier to remember, but I think, you do have a lot of kids who were COVID drivers, and you've got some kids that maybe their driving skills just aren't quite as sharp as ours were at the time. So for maybe the newer drivers, some more things that they should be on the lookout for. I think, getting off your phone, not eating your breakfast in the car, really
absolutely.
helpful tips.
That's a big thing, especially with the younger drivers. They think that they can multitask, and but if you're looking down at your phone and you're traveling about 60 miles an hour, you're traveling several hundred feet in that time, and you might look up and don't have enough time to react to what's in front of you.
It would happen so fast.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Think about it.
It is. I mean, it's a split-second incident, and it's very scary. So I think for parents, not only of little guys, but if you've got those 16, 17, 18-year-old drivers at home, this is a good time to have that conversation with them as well. Just, hey, keep an eye out for your little sibling type age groups, and let's take a minute. It's better to get to school and get there late than not at all. For the kids that may be walking to the bus stop, though, what are some tips to keep them safe?
Remind your kids, stay on the sidewalk, use the crosswalks if they're available. As winter and fall comes, the sun's gonna rise a little later and later, so if you have any kind of reflective clothing, a jacket or anything to put on your kids, that's great. Usually for not Christmas, Halloween, we give out little lights that say walk safe. So if you have one of those in the house, my students from Rehoboth Elementary, or if you can get one off Amazon, that's great too, because it makes your kid visible. Also, if your kid's riding the bike, parents need to remind their kids bicycles, the state of Delaware, are considered vehicles.
Yes, they are.
They need to obey the same laws. So if you see a stop sign, stop. Don't just run through it and think people are going to stop and see you. Got to make sure you're obeying all those laws as well.
You hear that, cyclists? That's for you grown-up cyclists too, because I've seen it. I've seen you not obey the rules like you're a vehicle, and I'm always like, oh my God.
Yeah, share the road, right?
Oh, share the road, but I'm a cyclist. I'm like, I have to be as extra safe because you're the one that's going to be hurt if there's an incident. So definitely obey those traffic laws, and I think just some really good reminders. And those are all really for the drop-off. What about pickup? Because I think sometimes we kind of forget on the way home too that you're rushing to get back from work. Kids are still getting dropped off.
Yeah, exactly. So I know there's some kids that get dropped off before parents get a chance to get home, and sometimes the parents are rushing to get home, and just same thing, just obey the law, obey the speed limit is the biggest thing I can tell you. Obey the speed limit, watch for those buses, watch those kids coming off, because you don't know if a kid's going to be coming across that bus to cross the lane of traffic, so please don't go around the bus.
Don't
just stay there, wait your turn. It's nice to get a place earlier, quicker than you might think you would be, but it's even better to get there in one piece and everyone gets there safely.
Exactly. Well, Officer Scisco, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Sharing with us some bus safety tips as we gear up for the back-to-school season. It's a crazy time of year for all you parents, so good luck. But we got some more Coast Life coming up when we get back. We're spilling some tea. We're spilling some hot goss as well.